I go straight to the kitchen where my wife and the nanny were, and I go, "Who's this man sitting in the living room with our daughter?" And she goes, "Oh, it's just a friend from school." The nanny goes, "Huh, a friend, huh?" I look at my wife. It's just a friend from her. It's a classmate from school. My nanny goes, "Friend, yeah." I saw them kissing. I not even answer. I turn around, I come running, I jump on him.
What's doing, everybody? I'm Alec Lace. Thank you for watching First Class Fatherhood. Today's guest on the podcast is the one and only Renzo Gracie. It is impossible to have a conversation about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and not mention the name Gracie. Renzo Gracie is a legendary Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion and UFC fighter. It's a big honor to have him on the podcast today, so get down there, smack the subscribe button, tap the like, and let's jump into it right now with Renzo Gracie on First Class Fatherhood. Joining me now, first-class father, legendary Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion, UFC fighter, Renzo Gracie. Welcome to First Class Fatherhood.
It's great to be here with you. And just to let you know, I'm a grandfather too, so
yeah,
I'm not slowing down.
Awesome. Let's start right here. How many kids do you have, and how old are they?
I have 3 kids. The first one is 31, the second 26, and the third 25. And my grandson is 5 now.
Wow, very cool. Yeah, congratulations on that. And so, what kind of, other than mixed martial arts, what kind of sports or activities were they into growing up?
We love anything with water. They love swimming. We go surfing. I was a surfer when I was very young. Like I was a professional surfer. So every time I can, I put them into sports. My son loves American football. He played for the Homedale team here for his young years. And they play soccer too. My daughter now is into Jiu-Jitsu a lot. She's training Jiu-Jitsu and she's running my academy in the city in Manhattan. So both of them, and they're doing Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, very cool. Renzo, if you could just take 1 second here for the listeners that don't know, just take a second here to hit my listeners with a little bit about your background.
I was born in Brazil. I began training Jiu-Jitsu when I was 5. I'm the 3rd generation of the Gracie family, the family that brought the UFC to the United States. My cousin was the one that created the sport. We used to do those in a ring back in Brazil since my grandfather. And I fell in love with this sport, and I saw what important tool was Jiu-Jitsu to give kids confidence, to give people confidence to be all they could be. And even though I love surfing and I was a professional surfer, I was very good at it. I saw the beauty that lays on Jiu-Jitsu, and I decided to embrace that. And I wasn't wrong. I'm just coming back from a trip from United Arab Emirates. I was there with the royal family, where I was able to organize and help my country, Brazil, a lot. And I hope to be doing the same for America soon. They just invested $40 billion in Brazil through Jiu-Jitsu, like they made it now to help Brazil grow. They removed the visa between both countries. Now they have a free trading zone between both countries, that you can buy from each country without paying taxes. And I just came back now for my month trip, helping Brazil to bring all the COVID tests, COVID vaccine, and every support on the health part to help Brazil grow and get better from this bad times, this enduring times.
Amazing, Renzo. And thank God you did stick with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because
yes,
you have changed so many lives out there. You and your family are responsible for just impacting so many lives. So it's awesome. Yeah. And now,
just in my academy in Manhattan, I have 1,500 students.
Yeah, unbelievable.
We have 67 affiliates. We have 37 schools in Mexico alone. It's like, even the Corona factory, the security is done by guys who train Jiu-Jitsu with us.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I have so many dads that come on, and when I ask them what sports their kids are into, so many of them are saying they're into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That, it's amazing how much it has really blown up, and it's everywhere now. So
and we were able to put in the Emirates, now it's mandatory in school. It's from kindergarten to college. The military and the police, you can't go up in patent if you are not a purple belt in Jiu-Jitsu, if you don't get a belt in Jiu-Jitsu. So it's mandatory on the whole country, and it completely changed. It's a funny thing. Last time I was there, and it's a Muslim country, the girls normally don't mix with the boys. When I get to the arena for the training session, it's a bunch of young kids, females and males. So when I look at them, they all come running, coach, and they hugging me, Uncle Renzo, And I noticed that the girls they leave their hair loose. They're not wearing the veil. So I asked the sheik, I say, what happened? They're not wearing the veil anymore. He goes, Renzo, Jiu-Jitsu is transforming our country. It's open minds, it's making kids confident, it's changing them in such a positive way. And now the Brazilian president has been talking to me about doing the same there. So
Yeah.
it's an unbelievable work. It's very rewarding, and to have the privilege of, I'm 54 now. I had the privilege of meet from the first generation of my family until I think my grandkids and my great grandkids are still gonna meet them and see them keep pushing this amazing sport forward.
Yeah, great stuff, Renzo. And so along this journey then that you've had, about how old were you when you first became a father, and how did becoming a dad kind of change your perspective on life?
Yeah, I was married at 23 years old because my whole life was teaching and training the whole day. I met my wife and we fell in love and we married. When I was in 1990, I think 3 years later, I had my first kid, and then it began. We've been married for 31 years, and here we are, with an amazing crew.
Yeah, very, very cool. How did that experience, how did the experience of becoming a father kind of change your perspective on life?
It's the only time you will understand your parents. You will understand how much they actually loved you. It's when you have a kid of your own. And it was a unique experience to be able to. For 6 months, I slept with my son in my chest, every night. And my daughter's the same, and I watch, and every night, I never had a full night's sleep again. I would go check to make sure the blanket was covering them, especially during winter time. And then right away he came back, my grandfather doing the same to me, my father doing the same to me, and I realized that they taught me right. With the love that they gave me, I could push the love forward to them. And I see now my daughter doing the same with my grandson. So it's like there is not even how to explain the beauty of all of this. It's like try to explain love. It's impossible.
Yeah,
It's impossible.
it's definitely like a revealed truth. It's definitely an experienced truth for sure. Yeah, I got 4 kids myself, and and that's why I'm doing this. It's the greatest thing in my life. So,
It's
and
the best. It's the best. It's the best feeling in the world.
yeah, and I want to ask you. You mentioned there too. You're Renzo Gracie in New York City. Obviously, all the academy everywhere with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu had to have been impacted greatly by the coronavirus. We're a year into this whole thing now. So, how did you kind of have to pivot or change, or what did you have to do to make sure you could keep running during this entire pandemic?
I was very fortunate. I had a very solid group of students. They helped me throughout the beginning, the whole part, and I was able to go through the whole problem without firing one single employee that worked with us, without not paying. I didn't diminish not one salary. Everything was solid, and I was able to keep it. I made deals with my landlord because my rent is extremely expensive there. I have 16,000 square feet on 30th Street, right next to Madison Square Garden. So it wasn't cheap, but they were very understanding and they were able to help me. We survived, and I'm glad we did it because I believe America needs a good jiu-jitsu school to help the people to heal, after such a hard time.
Yeah, yeah. Amen to that, Renzo. And what would you say here to the dads out there that are considering putting their kids into, they're not too familiar with jiu-jitsu? What kind of advice would you give them or a reason for them to get their kids enrolled in Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
Be very careful because it's like chocolate. Once you taste it, you get addicted. You can't live without. And jiu-jitsu is the most amazing tool to build confidence. Like I always say to them, we're not in the business of selling martial arts. I'm on the business of selling confidence. I've seen kids arriving there completely insecure. Some bully in school, some they stutter. Now I see them running the father's company. I see them working with a beautiful family, bringing their kids of their own to train with us, so we can build confidence on them and change them. I have to be honest. I'm very grateful. In a very early age, at 23, I decided that I was going to be just a fighter and a jiu-jitsu instructor, and I would pass the knowledge that my family developed forward. And I'm very fortunate that I did that choice. And older I get, more I realize that was the best choice, because I see how we change lives.
Yeah, very cool, Renzo. And did your kids come to see you when you fought in the octagon? Did they get a chance to see that?
Are you joking? My grandson watched my last fight. I fought 2 years ago. My last fight was 2 years ago in Manila. It was a sold-out arena. I fought. When they asked me, do you want to fight a guy your age? I say, are you crazy? I don't hit old people. Get me someone young. Like, this is not a geriatric encounter. Give me someone. So they gave me a 12-year-old guy, 12-year younger guy, and I was a champion in Japan with over 105 fights, and I was able to get him on the 6th minute of the fight. Boom, I choked him, and he gave up. He tapped, and my grandson was watching that. So it was, and my grandson and 25 more million people were watching at the same time. 28,000 in the arena. So it was unbelievable, unforgettable moment. Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah. And then pulling it back into you as a dad here, Renzo, what type of disciplinarian were you as a father with the kids growing up? And is that different than the discipline style that you grew up with?
It's different times. I think they have access to more information now. I remember when I want to know something, I had to go in the library and grab books and look for. Now they get the little smartphone or the little iPad and they find everything that they want, and it's much easier now, I believe. It's much easier because they already have access to information and they go confirm and they check, and it was easy. And I love them so much that every time I say something to them, they knew I mean good, so I was able to pass my knowledge, my years that I had to them without problem, and always through love.
Yeah, and it's so cool that they'll have a chance to see, the documentary that you were in that followed you for 10 years. And I just had Sean Patrick Flannery on the podcast here, and I know you were in.
He is the best. Did you watch his last movie?
It was phenomenal, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. Yeah, because I know you were a part of it. What did the kids think of your performance in this thing? And are you going to be appearing in any? You have any plans to continue doing any other movie roles?
The only thing that I regret is that I showed to them because I had to watch 20 times. They play it over and over and over again. What an amazing movie! And Sean Flannery was my student in New York, and I loved his work on the movie Powder, on the Boondock Saints. I love it, and I knew it. I said, man, I'm a big fan. And then he began training with me, and for a long time. Then he had to move back to California, and he opened the Renzo Gracie Academy in Los Angeles, and he run it. And I always make fun of him. I said, people think you're an actor that does jiu-jitsu. No, you're a jiu-jitsu man who became an actor, like this.
Yeah, I thought the movie was phenomenal, and I thought it was gonna be like a typical martial arts movie, but it was so much more than that. And I was able to watch it with my family, and it was great.
It transcended everything. I love it. I had a great time watching, and I saw a true story about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. What he shows, that even the jokes that he makes during the movies are things that only a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu person would do it, Well, so it's a must watch, Get your family, get your kids, gather together and go watch, because it's an unforgettable experience.
Yeah, well said. And now I got to ask you, because I have 4 kids. My youngest is my only girl. She's 6 years old right now, and I'm already I'm not hurrying for her to get into that dating scene later on down the line. You've been there already through this whole thing with you got a grandson yourself. How did you kind of handle it when your kids became old enough to date, especially your girls?
I'm gonna tell you a story of what really happened. Right, one day I got home. There's a man sitting next to my daughter watching a movie in my living room. And he had his legs across the top of my table. So when I walk in, it was 10 o'clock at night, I walk in, he looks at me and goes, "Hey, Mr. Gracie, how are you doing?" I don't answer. I go straight to the kitchen where my wife and the nanny were, and I go, "Who's this man sitting in the living room with our daughter?" And she goes, "Oh, it's just a friend from school." The nanny goes, "Huh, a friend, huh?" I look at my wife, "It's just a friend from her, it's a classmate from school." My nanny goes, "Friend, yeah. I saw them kissing." I not even answer. I turn around, I come running, I jump on him, I fell and mounted, grabbing him by the neck. And then he was like this, and I'm strangling him, and I go, "Are you dating my daughter?" He goes, "No." I said, "Are you not?" And I look at her, my daughter not even move. She keeps looking. She was touching her nail or something. She keeps looking at me. And I go, "Are you dating my?" "No." I look at her, she don't answer. I look at him again. If you think about dating my daughter, sign up for wrestling on Monday." Okay. I saw him again. He was gone, 4 years go by. I told my daughter, "Say, you see, he didn't love you. If he loved you, he'd come back. Even if he get his butt kicked every week, he wouldn't mind, That's love." So 4 years go by. My daughter is turning 18. She was 3 years go by. She was 15 when that happened. So at 18, I go buy a car for her 18th birthday. She loves a Mercury Cougar, black. I go on the dealer here in Hazlitt. When I'm buying, I walk in and I sit down with the sales guy, an older guy. He looks at me. He goes, "Oh, I see your ears. Do you do wrestling?" I say, "Yes, yes." And then he goes, "Man, my son was dating the daughter of a famous WWE." He thought I was a WWE of a famous WWE here in Homedale. And I told him, never go in the guy's house without asking him permission. He goes, "Dad, you crazy. It's old thinking. This doesn't exist." One day the father come in, he's there. He strangled my son. He jumped on him, he strangled him. My son never went back. I look at him, I say, "You got to be careful, man. A lot of crazy people out there." It was the guy's father that I went to buy the car from.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Later, we met each other. We joked. They actually live near me. We ended up becoming very good friends, you know?
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I tell my kids, my teenagers, we were in Home Depot and somebody had the cauliflower ears. I said, "Look, if you're ever older and you see somebody with ears like that, leave them alone. Don't ever bother them, you know." Well, very good stuff here, Renzo. Now, what kind of? I mean, you got the academy going in New York. You've had so much success, an incredible career. What type of plans or goals do you have here for yourself for the future?
I'm actually expanding. Come over here one second. This is my grandson. This is
Hey, he is.
Roman.
What's up, champ?
What's up, champ? Hey.
You're in good hands, my man.
He is. And what are you going to be when you grow up? You're shy. Are you shy now? He told me he's going to be a very good fighter. A very good one, yes. And then I can retire. You know, but what were you talking about?
I was saying, what kind of goals or plans do you have here for yourself for the future?
Man, I'm expecting to expand the academies a lot. I just had an offer to put 100 schools in China, to put some extra schools in Saudi Arabia, in Europe. We're going to open a lot in Europe. So I plan to expand Jiu-Jitsu all over the globe and help Brazil to improve this health system and their interchange with other countries too. You know, I'm very good friends with the current president, and I'm helping them a lot. He asked if I want to be a senator. I said, "Are you trying to make me work?" You have to understand what I do, I love. So to me, it's not one day of work. You put me to go in the office every day from 9 to 5. Oof, that's work. And I'm Brazilian. I'm going to start itching. I'll be allergic.
Listen, last thing I'm going to hit you with here, Renzo. I love to ask all the dads that I get on the podcast, what type of advice do you have for that new dad or for that about-to-be father who's out there listening?
If for some reason, like a lot of times, people, depending on their religion, on their beliefs, they react different. Let me explain one thing to you. I don't care if you're a Buddhist, if you're a Jew, if you're a Muslim, if you are a Catholic, if you're evangelical. Know one thing. Inside you, you always know what is right and what is wrong. And that, I always tell people, that's God. And I see it as Jiu-Jitsu. You always know what is wrong, what is right. So do what is right for your kid. You know, like you're gonna always do a great thing if you do from your heart what is right. You know, so love him, show him what love is, and make sure that he will pass that forward.
Yeah, very well said. This has been an honor for me. I got to say, Renzo Gracie, you're a first-class father all the way.
A pleasure, my brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All the best, brother.